That was Montgomery Clift and George Stevens' masterpiece, A Place in the Sun. Truly one of my favorite movies of all time. On the Greatest Movies You Never Heard Of, Part 7, the Kris Kondrad Movie Review Show. Thanks for joining me on another special episode. Directed by George Stevens, just great director. I mean, even that shot, just the way the camera lingers behind Montgomery Clift as he enters the party, hanging back, slowly tracking forward. Woman calls someone's name, he thinks it's him, but no, it's somebody behind him. And it's this great feeling of alienation, which the movie's really a feeling the movie puts through a lot. Just to wonder, we've all been to a party where we didn't know anybody, and that movie really makes you feel it. The story is about George Eastman, played by Montgomery Clift, who's a poor boy who's related to the Eastman Kodak family, so he decides to hitchhike out to California and see if he can get hooked up by his far-flung family members. He gets a job as a stock boy and moves his way up, where he ends up sleeping with Shelley Winters, a factory girl that he ends up working alongside. And she's doable, as they say, but that's about it. Then he meets Elizabeth Taylor, who's the socialite, gorgeous, way finer than Shelley Winters, everything he's ever dreamed for. But he's knocked up Shelley Winters, got a bun in the oven, and how is he going to deal with that? This isn't, the time of abortions aplenty. This is back in the 50s, early 50s. Shit. What's he going to do? There lies in the quandary. Just a magnificent film. It's based on Theodore Dreiser's book, American Tragedy, which I guess was a big book at one point in time. It's supposed to be a real clunky read. A great story, but bad prose, just like, I guess, Mario Puzo, if you ever tried to read The Godfather. The movie was made actually once before in 1937 as American title, with the tragedy, American Tragedy is a title. And I had seen it, and it's okay, but it's no near the masterpiece of this. George Stevens is just a wonderful director. He directed Shane, one of the better westerns of the 50s. Also Gunga Din from the 30s, really a template for all action films with Cary Grant and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. And one of my favorite films of all time, Giant, starring also Elizabeth Taylor, and she's wonderful in that. Here she's just okay. She plays her role fine, but it's no great performance. But she's great in Giant. Rock Hudson, of course, the late, great James Dean in his best performance, I think, in Giant. Giant's just a masterpiece. Anytime someone brings up Gone with the Wind, I steer them in the direction of Giant. I don't know why. It's not really a comparable film. They're both epic, long masterpieces. Although Gone with the Wind isn't a masterpiece, it's just okay. But Place in the Sun is a masterpiece, and it's really one you should check out. So how is Montgomery Clift going to deal with pregnant Shelley Winters? I mean, standing in the way of his beautiful, wonderful Elizabeth Taylor? Yeah, row her out to the middle of a lake at night and drown her, since it turns out she can't swim. Let's take a look at this scene.
Oh, look behind you. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Wish me luck, wish me light, make my wish come true tonight. Did you make a wish? What'd you wish?
Nothing.
You say it won't come true if you tell.
Oh, I'm sorry that I've been so nasty to me. I didn't mean it. These things happen. You just don't stay the same. I will make it up to you. I'll stick by you.
I do love you, George.
When I get back, it's gonna be dark.
That old man will think we drowned.
Shelley Winters really is magnificent in this film, and she's an underrated actress in my opinion. She was amazing in Lolita, Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, where she stole every scene from James Mason, who was great in it as well. But she's just a great actress. Odds Against Tomorrow, she's great. A 50s film noir by the great Robert Wise. Just an underrated actress. And again, Elizabeth Taylor does a serviceable job. She's supposed to look hot, and she does, and she plays it off. But Montgomery Clift is really he's the revelation here. He's just amazing. His first film is Red River by the late, great Howard Hawks from 1948, which in my opinion is the finest, greatest Western ever made. Really the greatest Western. Check it out. And to be somebody's first performance, it's pretty amazing. He was just an amazing actor. He was in a car accident in the late 50s, early 60s, which disfigured his face and really messed him up. And he continued to act, but his ego was damaged and his acting ability seemed to suffer as well. He was never the same. But his early work is just amazing. And again, George Stevens, great director. A Place in the Sun. And that scene I just showed you is not even halfway into the movie, so there's plenty more to come. And it's just intense and beautiful and dramatic and depressing and everything a wonderful, great film should be. So check it out. Until next time, thanks for joining me on The Greatest Movies You Never Heard of, Part 7 on the Kris Kondrad Movie Review Show.